As we've been discussing this hour, the market's plunging today, erasing their gains for the year. Investors are growing more concerned about economic weakness in the U.S. and Europe. Time to let the Willis watchdogs out. Larry Winget is the author of Shut Up, Stop Whining, and Get a Life. Ben Ferguson is a radio talk show host and in the flesh today with us on the set. Lindsay Piegza is a finance expert. Lindsay, is there anything positive in this?
Well, look, stocks falter because they're scared that the economy is going to slow further from this point. And in fact, we do expect third quarter growth to be slower than the second quarter. The labor market is very tepid right now. Consumers are under a lot of pressure from the outstanding debt. But look, the good news is that real consumer spending actually slowed the rate of descent across the second quarter. So by June, what we saw is real consumption was flat, but nominal consumption actually dropped 0.2. So consumers were able to spend fewer dollars and actually get the same amount of goods they consumed the month prior.
All right, it's a silver lining, a small one, I grant you. Ben, what are your...
You can only lie to yourself for so long, and I think that's what people are looking at. They're saying, hey, are things really getting better? No, they're really not. Unemployment numbers show they're not getting better. The president and the deal he was supposed to do, not helping my life out. Is it easy for me to pay my bills? No. Am I getting a raise? No. So you look at these numbers, you see what Wall Street did today. If you're an average American right now, I think you realize there are real problems in the economy and our government and spending, and that's why people are reacting this way. I'm not surprised. I think it was a long time coming.
Hey, Larry, that payroll tax break we got, it's going away. That's part of that debt ceiling deal they gave us. Devil's in the details. They never tell us the bad stuff.
I know, and I agree with Ben. The average guy, I don't think, gives a hoot about any of this. He doesn't have any understanding of what the Dow really is. He doesn't have any money in the stock market. In fact, the average guy doesn't have any money at all. So what he's concerned about is Friday's paycheck going to cover all of his bills. That's what he wants to know. So as he listens to all this bad news today, what he hears is that oil prices are going down, which means he may spend $1 or $2 less at the pumps, which is good news to him because there might be money left over to buy a pizza on Friday night.
Well, if we can get a few more people in the market now after the sell-off, that would be a good thing. Our next story, Bank of America is seeking settlements with state and federal officials to protect the bank from lawsuits over its mortgage practices. Reports say part of the settlement would cut the amount struggling homeowners would have to pay on their loans. Ben, we're talking about forgiving mortgage
debt. If I don't pay my mortgage, I lose my house. If a bank messes with people in their mortgage, you pay a fine. You still made some good money probably, and you walk away saying, I'm sorry. Meanwhile, didn't Martha Stewart go to jail for something that was not even close to what Bank of America just did, in my opinion? I mean, this is one of those things where do as I say, not as I do, but don't worry. We're on top of corporate America and banking. Yeah, not really.
The problem is now the negotiations are looking at revamping the contracts that have already been in place. Now, this is obviously going to benefit both parties. The banks will avoid further litigation. The homeowners will be able to reduce their principal payment. But revamping contract law is a pretty slippery slope. And I think it doesn't behoove anyone as we introduce more and more moral hazard to the situation.
She's so smart, isn't she? I mean, really. Larry, what do you say?
She is smart. I see this as a fight with no winners, just varying degrees of losers. Besides, I would be a little wary when the guilty party, the one who's being sued, brings you the deal, which is what they did in this case.
Amen to
in
that.
An effort to help everyone, because their effort is to help themselves. This is self-serving, so I'd be a little wary of this deal.
A little suspicious of this. All right. How about this, though? Major League Baseball is launching an investigation, a probe into Alex Rodriguez. This after reports the New York Yankee slugger took part in high-stakes underground poker games. What does that mean? Aren't they all high stake? Larry, are you there? I bet $10 today. I thought it was high stakes.
Well, we deal in a little different level than A-Rod does. I really don't care if A-Rod's playing poker or not. And I don't see what the commissioner's so upset about and why this is such a big deal. This is not Pete Rose betting on baseball. This is A-Rod and a bunch of other celebrities sitting around trying to draw to an inside straight. I don't care whether he does it. It has no impact on how he plays the game. I hope they move on.
They're bored. They're guys with a lot of money that don't work 365 days a year. I mean, Michael Jordan was bored. Charles Barkley was bored. Half the guys that did steroids were bored. That's why they did it in the first place. So for me, I laugh at this because I think this is him trying to rewrite history. He knows he screwed up. with a lot of the fans already when they had their first lockout. He knows they screwed up on steroids, so by golly, I'm going to get A-Rod at the end of his career after he hit 600, and then now we'll act like we're really cracking down on it. I'm sorry, it's a joke.
Well, I think just to play devil's advocate here, he's already been warned by the Yankees and the MLB to revamp this behavior, and he continues to go back. And look, remember 2009, he's taking performance-enhancing drugs. He was in front of the commissioners then.
If it was 3 years ago, this would be a non-story when he was hitting a lot of home runs. That's all I'm saying. It's end of his career. Let's come down on him because it's easy.
It's all about baseball, really, at the end of the day. You want to talk stocks or baseball? You're going to talk baseball, aren't you?
Baseball.
All right. Okay. Larry, Ben, Lindsay, thanks so much for your time today. We'll be right back with my 2 cents more and the results of our online poll.